wonder if this game will get back to its hype the way New World managed to get back after get back some attention. New World got its hype back because of its expansion it's coming out with, right? That's why people are like excited to play it again, because of the expansion. And they're changing the levels so you'll be able to level up faster. I think Tower Fantasy will get more popular if they catch up to the CN. I think if they catch up to CN, it'll be a little bit more popular, because I'm telling you, the main reason the game doesn't feel that exciting is because we know everything. Like, the only thing that we don't know is the stats that the characters are gonna have. I don't feel like it's as exciting when you know what's happening. It takes away from it when it's like, okay, who's the next banner gonna be? And then it's like a list of 3 people. It's like, it's gotta be either Ruby, Saki, or Cobalt, right? And then it's like, okay, well, oh, Cobalt B is coming out. But it's like, if it's brand new, so like now it's like we know Annabelle and Alice and Tian Lang and all of that. It's like, okay, there's no real hype behind that when it hits global, because we already know it exists, right? But when they release a new character in global that we haven't seen before in CN, I think it's gonna bring a lot more excitement and like, oh shit, what is this character type shit. I think Steam will bring a good amount of players. I don't think a lot of them will stay, but I think a lot of players will come into the game. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I think the main reason that Tower, let me go full screen for this speech. You know, we may put it on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? I think the main reason why Tower of Fantasy isn't doing as good as it could have done, right, is because it tried for like a little while, like a week, to not market itself as an MMO, right? But everybody sees it as an MMO, right? Potential hello you saw me. Everybody sees it as an MMO. It's an MMO gacha game, right? That's what everybody says. I got the free Tectone promo in the background, by the way. So they tried for like a week to say, oh, it's a shared world RPG. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why they did that, okay? Because you got 2 different types of people that play games like this. An MMO gacha game, right? You got people that like MMOs, and what do you normally do in an MMO? You have stuff to grind for. You have like fishing and woodcutting and mining and dungeons that are repeatable as many times as you want to do them, and you got like all of this stuff, right? You got so much stuff to do in an MMO game. Mini games. There's not really a lot to do with other people in Tower Fantasy, right? I mean, as a free-to-play player, yeah, you know, you there's a lot of shit that you have to do with other people, but that's where the gacha side comes in, right? So as a gacha game, there's not really an MMO aspect, if you really look at it, right? So you spend money, you do more damage, you kill stuff faster, which is what a gacha game is, right? There's people that like gacha games that play the game. But with the way that MMO players like to play their games, Tower Fantasy isn't that. Like, if I was a strictly MMO player and I saw this game on Steam, right? And if you look on Steam, where the fuck is my Steam? I don't got it open. If you look at Tower Fantasy on Steam, right? Tower Fantasy on Steam, what does it say? Right here. Right here, what does it say? So if I were looking for MMOs on Steam and I came across Tower Fantasy and it's free, it's a free game, I would download it. I would download it because it looks good. Like, I watch the trailer, I look at the pictures, you know, they got bosses and shit. Like, it looks like a super good game as an MMO, right? It's a good game. Like, don't get me wrong, it's probably top 3 gacha games out right now. Like, it doesn't get that love, but like, I would say this is one of the best gacha games out right now. This game as an MMO though, like, if I was looking for an MMO, this is not the game I'd be looking for, because there's not enough to do to call it an MMO, if that makes sense. And this isn't necessarily like a 100% fact, right? But people that like playing MMOs like to play games for like 15 hours a day. Like, real MMO players like playing 15 hours a day. They like some shit to grind and progress in the game. With the locked progress in this game and the amount of content that's available, you can't play this game like an MMO. This game has about, depending on what you do every day, it has about, like, about 30 minutes to an hour of gameplay. You feel me? it has about 30 minutes to an hour of gameplay, depending on what you're doing for that day. Which is another reason I don't really like streaming it that much, because I find myself just kind of fucking bullshitting for most of the stream. Like, I can I can find 2 hours of shit to do in Tower Fantasy, right? I can go pick fucking berries and shit, you know what I mean, or whatever. But like right now, the only reason that I would have a lot of time of content is because I saved up 176 vitality solutions. I have hours of content for that one reason, right? So when it's like boot day or glove day or something like that, I can just run join ops. But even then, like, I guess that would give it the feel of like I'm doing the same dungeon over and over again, trying to get that one item that I want, right? So you have to spend money to make this game feel like an MMO. And even then, the raids or the dungeons or the join ops or whatever, they don't feel like raids. I'd say 2 of them kind of do, but it's the fact that it's a gacha game that kind of throws it out of the window at the end of the day, because you don't have to have a team. You can at some point solo it. I could probably do that second raid with me, 9B, and Fushi. Like just us 3, right? We don't need a healer or none of that, because we'll heal ourselves. We just fucking put out damage. We get the shit down DPS wise. One of us stays, the other 2 go kill the other boss. They come back. It's done, right? There's no real mechanics to call the raids. You with the other one, you keep them apart from each other for a little while. I feel like there could be more to it. I think until we get to a point in Tower Fantasy where there's like at least daily a few hours of content, I don't think it's gonna hold MMO players. If I'm just MMO, I don't like gacha shit. I'm not paying as much as I did for the vitality solution. I'm just not, right? If I'm just a regular player or a free-to-play player that likes MMOs, like I'm not paying that much for a vitality solution to make the game feel like an MMO. So I will play the game for a little while. I might check it out for like a few weeks. Oh yeah, this game's kind of fun. Oh wait, I'm weak. How do I get stronger? Oh, I either have to pay or wait. Like, so from a gacha standpoint, Tower Fantasy is amazing. Tower Fantasy is a great gacha game, right? The rates are okay. They give a good amount of free shit. You get compensation for every little fucking thing that happens, regardless of if they need to give it out or not. People that play gacha games are entitled, so they just fucking do it. It's a really good gacha game, but it's not a good MMO. So the fact that they have it listed on Steam as an MMO will attract MMO players, but most of them will drop off pretty quickly, I think. Let me see what y'all are talking about. MTOF fans said I don't know what I was talking about. I did the Steam version, but I was right. Yeah, and the thing that, and I know, I understand that it's not easy to develop a game and to add changes like that. But like, I was talking to the community managers and stuff before the game came out, like for a few months, and I was giving them ideas and shit. And like I said, no hate to like the devs or to the community folks at Tower Fantasy. But I think that if they implemented some of the stuff, the game would have had a much better release. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all, bro. I don't know like what happened to make the game take so long to come out. Because when I look at how it came out in CN and how it came out globally, it wasn't that big of a difference. Like, it was just as buggy, right? If not more. I mean, luckily we didn't have the same bug CN did with the whole, the 6-star duping thing. If we did, they kept it under wraps this time. But yeah, man, I feel like it was about the same kind of release. So I don't really understand the wait there, unless it was just for like to check on shit. Because the game, other than that, was the same. Other than like what happened as far as like the hacking and all that stuff, there was no real difference in the release, bro. Like, it came out with the same. We were able to hit level 18, 20. They sped up the levels a little bit, and we're gonna catch up with CN. So what was the point? Yeah, like there was no real reason to wait almost a year to release the game globally. I think first off, I think the game would have done a lot better coming out last year. I think they lost a lot of players when Sumeru came out, and I don't think a lot of them came back. Especially the Genshin folks, right? So like, think about how much longer people like MTashed, Tectone, Enviosity, how much longer they would have played Tower of Fantasy if Sumeru didn't come out. So I think they did end up hurting themselves by waiting so long to release the game, because if you look at what came out last year at that time, like if they would have released in December of last year, what came out in December last year? Gacha wise, like what good gacha game came out last year in December? Like nothing was coming out. There was no games that anybody was talking about. There was no like updates anybody was talking about. Nothing was going on. It was just them. It was just them. The real problem with TOF is the immersion. The character design besides the gacha is whack. I think the characters look okay. I think they're fine. Genshin has immersion. Yeah, there's no real story, I guess. I can see that. There's no real story. Like there's a story there, but like, does anybody know it for real? If I asked one of y'all in chat right now to tell me the story of Tower of Fantasy, could you do it? Like what's going on? I'm actually a story guy and TOF is confusing. All I remember is activating some beacons. I'm fucking weak. Is there a TOF lore YouTuber? I don't think so, man. I think everybody that's making Tower Fantasy content right now is talking about the Cobalt B compensation. Oh my God, only people that summon only people that it affects get the compensation. Y'all really paying attention to the lore? That's kind of wild. You should be the TOF lore guy. When the fuck have I ever cared about lore?